Kimberly, Allison from Starliner Music. Welcome to my channel. Today in fingerboard geometry, we're going to continue with diatonic arpeggio studies. We'll be looking at diatonic 7th chord arpeggios. That means arpeggios within the key that are fingered within the G area of CAGED. First, we'll look at some fingerings and then we'll do some exercises. Here we go. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, today in fingerboard geometry we're going to continue our studies of diatonic 7th chord arpeggios. Diatonic means that we're in the key or in the same major scale, and 7th chord arpeggios would be 4-note chords that include the root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th of the chord. So we'll be grouping them together into one area using the CAGED system. And so today we'll be looking at arpeggios grouped in the G area. That means that the primary chord of the key, the 1 chord, will be in the G form, and that means it will be sitting over an octave shape that looks like this. So this is the G form octave in CAGED. Right now I'm playing it on root A though. That's just because I don't want to do it open. Open would be this, like what's under a G chord. There's open G and there's where the G's are. So if I move that up to A, I'm talking about this. So those roots are A in the G form. So I will be positioning all my arpeggios in that general area for the key of A. And let's go ahead and look at the arpeggio fingerings. So the 1 chord A in the key of A is fingered in the G form, and that's my octave shape. Here is the arpeggio. I'm going to start on the 7. So this is the 7, and here's the root A. Walking up the arpeggio. So 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. So that's my 1 chord A major 7. And the 2 chord is B minor 7. And the octave pattern looks like this. That's in A form. And I'm going to start on the lowest note of the pattern, and that will be the 5th of the chord. So here we go. This is the 5, and this is the flat 7, and then this is the root, minor 3rd, 5, flat 7, root, minor 3rd, 5, flat 7. So that is the fingering for the 2 chord B minor 7. The 3 chord is C sharp minor 7. So this is the octave shape underneath there, underneath the arpeggio, and this is a C form. So the arpeggio C sharp minor 7 starts on the low 5. So this is the 5, flat 7. Then we have the root, minor 3rd, 5th, flat 7, root, minor 3rd, and the 5th again. So that's the 3 chord. The 4 chord is D major 7. Again, we're using this C form. That's the C form octave pattern. And we're going to start down here on F sharp. That's the low 3rd for D major 7. So major 3rd, 5th, major 7, root, 3rd, 5th, major 7, root, 3rd, 5th. Then we have the 5 chord. And the 5 chord's rooted here on the D string, so we're going to be using the D form of the chord E, or E7. So that's my octave pattern. It's a D form. And my root's here. I'm going to be starting, though, down here on the lowest note of the arpeggio, and this is the major 3rd of the chord E7, so it's G sharp. So here we go. Major 3rd, 5th, this is the flat 7, root, major 3rd, 5th, flat 7, root, major 3rd. And then we're going to go to the 6th chord. The 6th chord is F sharp minor. And so here's F sharp. The octave shape is this. This is an E form. So F sharp minor 7. I'm going to start on the root. Root, minor 3rd, fifth, flat 7, root, minor third, fifth, flat 7, root, minor third. And finally, we have the 7 chord. And this is a half diminished chord, or a minor 7 flat 5. The root is here. And so the root pattern looks like this: G sharp, minor 7 flat 5. And I'm going to start here on the flatted 7. So flat 7, root, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7, root, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7, root. So that was G sharp minor 7 flat 5. That's the 7th chord in the key of A. And so those would be all of the diatonic arpeggios in the key of A, fingered in the G area for CAGED. Now that we've looked at A, let's look at one more key and get some instructions on how to do the exercises. So for the exercises, we're pretty much going to do the same thing. You can choose a root either using the circle of fourths or fifths. I will leave that on screen here if you don't know what that is. Or you can randomly select a key. You could use a musical die, which is one of these things that you can roll and get a root. So that can randomize your musical practice. But we'll be basically playing all the diatonic arpeggios in the key in the G area, and I've selected a couple of keys to do here as samples for the exercises, but I'll go through how to do it here on the on C, key of C. So here's C at the 8th fret, and what I want you to do is first play the octave pattern for the chord that you're on. So start with the 1 chord, play the octave pattern, and then start at the lowest note of the arpeggio, play the top of the arpeggio, and then back down to the lowest note. So then I play C major 7, that's the 1 chord. Then I go on to the 2 chord. I play the octave pattern for the 2 chord. The 2 chord in this case is D minor 7, and I start at the lowest note. Play the arpeggio, back down to the lowest note. Then I go on to the 3 chord, play the octave shape, start at the lowest note here. Then I go to the 4 chord, F major 7, start at the lowest note. Then I go to the 5 chord, start at the lowest note. 5 chords G7, and then I go on to the 6 chord A minor 7. This is the E form of A minor 7. Then I have the G form of the 7 chord, which is B minor 7 flat 5, or B half diminished. It's the octave shape, playing from the lowest note. And that's the key of C. So I have a couple of samples for 2 other keys in the exercises. Let's get a look. That's it for diatonic 7th chord arpeggios in the G area. I'm Kimberly Allison from Starliner Music, and I hope to see you back on my channel soon.